So the French have been protesting in France over the fact that the age of retirement has just been upped from 62 years old to 64 by Macron. Is that how you say Emmanuel Macron? Is it Macron? Macron? How do you pronounce his name? I don't know. But protesters are tearing up France, and the French themselves, the French citizens, they seem perfectly fine just eating, drinking coffee with flames in the background. These niggas don't give a look at these niggas, bro. They don't care. They chilling. Look at them, bro. This man and woman are just chilling, sitting there with the fires of revolution blazing behind them, drinking wine, chilling, legs crossed. Both of them got their legs crossed as if a fire isn't going off right in front of them. They chilling. Look at this shit. You got another couple coming to sit down and eat. The fire is literally crackling, popping, crowd surrounding it, and these folk are just sitting down, phone in hand, wine on the table, satchel in her hand, sitting down, just ready to eat and just drink and vibe out. What's going on? Yo, big ups to the Europeans, right? Because Europeans move different. Like, they're just different, bro. Like, they just do everything opposite of what you think. Like, Americans ain't go like, oh, there's a fire going on. Okay, like everybody, all right, guys, let's leave. Let's all go home. Like, Europe, they just gonna sit there like, oh shit, like what the fire? It ain't touching me. Shit, eat, drink, be merry. They don't give a fuck. These are some different type niggas, bro. The Europeans, they're weird. They're not weird, but they're definitely different. Like they're on some different type of timing. Even more flames with people eating. Look at this, bro. They do not care. They're just gonna do what it is that they're gonna do.
Shared on social media caused the bemusement of thousands of people around the world.
They're eating. They're just chilling with flames behind them. They don't care. Now, what's going on in France? Why is Macron, however you say his name, why is he taking an L recently? So the news is saying that protesters on the tracks at a Paris rail station, smoke bombs let off at the Biarritz airport, anger at French President Emmanuel Macron's pension reforms showed no sign of letting up on Tuesday as the nation saw for a 10th day of nationwide demonstrations. Now let's see. Let's see what did he do wrong? What did he do to make these niggas that mad? Huge French pension reform protests gave way to fiery overnight clashes. More than 1 million people took to the streets across France on Thursday, with protests turning violent in some areas as demonstrators voiced their fury at proposed pension reforms. Okay, y'all gave me a link to the proposed pension reforms before. Now I click on the link and I'm reading this new article, and now giving me a second link to the pension reforms. What's going on? I'm clicking the link. Yeah, should I click the link? Fuck it, I'm clicking the link. Fuck it. French workers may have to retire at 64 and many are in uproar. Here's why. Okay, finally, we found what they're upset about. See how it took like 2 clicks? What's wrong with you niggas over there, CNN? Impromptu protests broke out in Paris and across several French cities Thursday evening following a move by the government to force through reforms of pension system that will push up the retirement age from 62 to 64. While the proposed reforms of France's cherished pension system were already controversial, it was the manner in which the bill was approved, sidestepping a vote in the country's lower house, where President Emmanuel Macron's party crucially lacks an outright majority. That arguably sparked most of the anger. So they have a system put in place for how laws and reforms are supposed to be passed. And apparently, it sidestepped a vote in the country's lower house where his party, the president's party, lacks the majority. So he didn't get the majority vote in a particular part of the government, almost basically like our system. He didn't get the vote he needed to get a new bill passed, and somehow it still got passed. So they're saying like, wait, hold up. So you're changing the age of retirement, which is already a middle finger to us. You changed it in an outright illegal and basically mobster like, nigga, what's good kind of way. Like, yeah, 64 years old, nigga, and what? Like, basically the French government is bullying The French people like, yeah, you're retiring at this age, and what you gonna do about it? Which is honestly crazy. It's crazy. So figures from Pollster, IFOP shows that 83% of young adults 18 through 24 and 78% of those aged around 35 found the government's manner of passing the bill unjustified. Even among pro-Macron voters, those who voted for him in the first round of last year's presidential election before a runoff with his far-right adversary. Okay, why they gotta say far-right? You know what? They're referring to Le Pen, right? They always be violating her. Why y'all can't just let the lady just be why gotta violate Le Pen, right? A majority of 58% disagreed with how the law was passed, regardless of their thoughts about the reforms. So, it seems like the majority of the people who support bro are like, bro, y'all ain't passing this correctly. Like, it's cool and all that y'all want to pass something, but y'all are circumventing the system that's put in place to make sure that we pass our laws in a manner that the people can be satisfied with. So why is Macron so determined on this, even though it's unpopular? Macron made social reforms, especially of the pension system, a flagship policy of his 2022 re-election, and it's a subject that he has championed for much time of his time in office. However, Thursday's move has so inflamed opposition across the political spectrum that some are questioning the wisdom of his hunger for reforms. Prime Minister Elizabeth Borne conceded in an interview Thursday night with TF1 that the government initially aimed to avoid using Article 49.3 of the Constitution to crowbar the reforms passed in the National Assembly. The collective decision to do so was taken at a meeting with the president, ministers, and allied lawmakers mid-Thursday, she said. For Macron's cabinet, the simple answer to the government's commitment to reforms is money. The current system relying on the working population to pay for a growing age group of retirees is no longer fit for purpose, the government said. So, okay. So they're trying to take care of retirees and the growing age group of retirees. So as they up the age, as they lower the age of retirement, younger people, say 55, whatever, I guess, if they lower the age of retirement, more people become retirees. And if more people become retirees, the state needs more money to fund their retirement. So he's trying to basically level that out and okay, I see what he's trying to do. Labor Minister Olivier, is that how you say it? Olivier Dussault? Is that how you say it? I could be wrong. Olivier Dussault. We're going to call him Olivier Dussault. Fuck it. Said that without immediate action, the pensions deficit will reach more than $13 billion annually by 2027. Referencing opponents of the reforms, Dussault told CNN affiliate BFM TV, do they imagine that if we pause the reforms, we will pause the deficit? Okay, so let's see why this is a big problem. Why is this such a big deal for the French, who still have generous pension arrangements compared to other Western countries? No pensions reform has made the French happy. Pascal Perrineau, political scientist at Sciences Po University, told CNN on Friday. Each time there is opposition from public opinion, then little by little the project passes and basically public opinion is resigned to it, he said. Adding that the government's failure was its inability to sell the project to the French people. That's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure that if Macron really tried to talk to these guys, if he spoke to the French people and said, look, bro, here's our problem. Here's a solution. What should we do about it? The fact that they just passed it without properly angling it, not even properly angling it, without properly putting it through the system in the way that the French bills are supposed to be passed, I'm not surprised people were pissed. Now, of course, upping the retirement age is going to piss anybody off, but the way it was done, the lack of, marketing it, if you will, to the French people, I can see why shit went left. They're not the first to fall at that hurdle. Pensions reform has long been a thorny issue in France. In 1995, weeks-long mass protests forced the government of the day to abandon plans to reform public sector pensions. In 2010, millions took to the streets to oppose raising the retirement age by 2 years to 62, and in 2014, further reforms were met with wide protests. For many in France, the pension system, as with social support more generally, is viewed as a bedrock of the state's responsibilities and relationship with its citizens. The post-World War II social system enshrined rights to a state-funded pension and healthcare, which have been jealously guarded since, in a country where the state has long played a proactive role in ensuring a certain standard of living. France has one of the lowest retirement ages in the industrialized world. spending more than most other countries on pensions at nearly 14% of economic output, according to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. But as social discontent mounts over the surging cost of living, protesters at several strikes have repeated a common mantra to CNN. They are taxed heavily and want to preserve a right to a dignified old age. So Macron is clearly in deep shit. You passed the bill basically illegally. You didn't have the majority in the specific part of the government that passed the bill. Somehow it still got passed anyways. So now they're tight. You up the retirement age, they're tight. And now they're protesting. I don't know. Could Le Pen use this against Macron? Could this be what Le Pen needs to take this man down? I swear she's been running against him since I've been alive. Like, them two are like the biggest enemies. Well, they're the biggest rivals in like European politics. I wonder what Le Pen is gonna try to do to up the stick. Like, how is she gonna use this against Macron? I wonder. But yeah, France going through some serious protests. I don't know too much about it. If any Europeans see this, comment below. Explain your system to me. Explain how this shit works. When I made that Jordan Peterson video, a lot of y'all Europeans popped up. If you're still here, fuck with your boy. Tell me what's going on. Break it down to me. I still don't understand everything. Feel free to let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.